Okay, I wanted to do a quick video so I could explain the new guidelines that just came out from DHSS and DESE. And I want to point out the reason that Khan and Page want a mask mandate so bad is because the new guidelines make no reference, and it's no difference for quarantining if you're masked or unmasked. So right now, Page and Khan and the rest of the tyrants in the county are scrambling because they want a mask mandate because they know these guidelines are really going to mess up their narrative. Okay, so attached is the link to the new guidelines that were sent out yesterday. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. Anyway, once you get through the fear porn in the beginning of it, they're talking about, one slide is talking about university students, has nothing to do with K through 12. Another slide is talking about hospitalizations in California. Last I checked, we live in Missouri and not California. It has nothing to do with us. Plus, California was the state that got caught grossly exaggerating hospitalizations for kids. I think they exaggerated by 40 to 45%. So again, I'm not sure why that slide is in there. There's also a slide, looks like a teacher is secreting death from her. Okay, so just go through the beginning of it and all of the fear porn, and we're gonna get to the meat of it. And the meat of it says this, okay? Masks do not matter when it comes to quarantining. So why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because schools have been hiding behind their excuse to mask our children because of quarantining and because of what a DHSS and DESE have said. So now they don't have any more excuses. They need to stand up, they need to vote on it, and they cannot hide behind the state anymore. A close contact has been identified as 3 to 6 feet, regardless of a mask. Regardless of a mask. This is a big deal because there are a lot of schools that have been quarantining entire classrooms if they weren't wearing a mask. Okay, we have 110 counties in this state that do not have a mask mandate, and their districts are mask optional. So they were quarantining entire classrooms if one kid was tested positive. There is a classroom in my kid's school that have been quarantined for the 3rd time since the beginning of school. They are hardly at school. So this is a big deal because a close contact has been identified as 3 to 6 feet regardless of a mask. So we're gonna keep kids in school, okay? This also extends, if you read it, it extends to buses. So if your kid has to wear a mask on the bus, which most of ours do, and they sit next to somebody who tests positive, they do not have to quarantine because they have a mask on. Now, if you're at a school, it's mask optional, and they were quarantining someone because they sat by them at lunch, that goes away. So the quarantining extends to the gym, the hallway, the library, the bus. No more kids walking like zombies in the hall. We don't need to do that anymore, okay? No more silly pods at recess if your school approves it. And mostly we're gonna keep high school kids in sports, hopefully more than they have been. This helps our teachers stay in the classroom, whether they're vaccinated or not. There are some districts who, if they were not vaccinated, regardless if they were wearing a mask, had to quarantine if they were in contact with a positive student. The teacher now gets to be in the classroom. They're not going to lose pay. They get to be in there to teach our children. This is all about keeping kids in school, keeping teachers in school, and giving them a fighting chance when it comes to education. I want to read the summary, okay? This is the second to last slide. They hit it to second to last slide, but this is where it's important, okay? Option 1, fully vaccinated or a case, if you had a positive case in the last 3 months, you get to stay in school and your extracurricular activities. Option 2, distance within 3 to 6 feet, both masked, they get to stay in school and their extracurricular activities, which I don't think that was happening before. Option 3, distance less than 3 feet and both masked, quarantined, but they can stay in school and no extracurricular activities, okay? Now, here's the next part. Work with local public health agencies and school leaders to develop a test to stay in school option. We don't know what that test looks like. We're assuming it's a COVID test. Maybe it's a simple questionnaire that the parents take for their kids. We don't know what that looks like, but it looks to me that you can work with your school and your local authorities. So this says, option 4, test to stay in school for persons not eligible for options 1 through 3. Not eligible means you're not masked. So I understand that people don't want to test their kids. I get that. I'm not interested in testing my healthy child. But before this, we never had the option. And before this, we were quarantining entire classrooms of kids that were healthy. We don't have to do that anymore. This is not the end goal. This is not something that we're like, we've made it, we're here, I'm happy. That is not it. What I am saying is, for these 110 counties who are mask optional, they do not have to quarantine hundreds and hundreds of kids anymore, okay? And most importantly, for all the schools that are in St. Louis County that are masked, you now have the door open to be mask optional because it is not based on quarantining anymore. So this is where you get off the computer from behind the phone and you get with the parents and you go to the school board and you say, why do we have masks anymore? Before you said it was so we didn't have to quarantine. Well, now we have these new guidelines, and make sure they're following the guidelines and push for no mask for your student if that's what you choose. This has always been about choice. We now have more choices for our kids. This is, again, not the end goal, but it is a big deal. Next step, they're going to recognize natural immunity. They already kind of are with the 3 months thing. That is going to be the next step. You have to remember where we started. A year ago, we had no sports. And then we had sports, but no spectators, maybe 2. And then we had the 2 spectators, right? And now we have full Friday Night Lights fields packed with kids. That's just how it goes. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But this is a big step forward, and I just wanted to explain all of it. You do not have, if you're in a school that's mask optional, my kid's school is mask optional, and they're close contact, I do not have to choose to get them tested. They can quarantine. And that is my choice, but now I have a choice. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm sure if you have the question, other people do as well. I tried to explain it the best that I could, but I appreciate all you guys do every day, and keep going forward.